All right, listen up, y'all.
Greetings, everybody. This is another episode of All Things Education Official. I'm your host and educator, Mr. Abdullah, giving you education from a black male educator's perspective. Today, we're going to discuss something that occurs or is spoken about frequently in academic spaces: conflict versus bullying. And as you can see, there has always been a little bit of a contentious relationship between conflict versus bullying, because when it comes to people's children, they tend not to want to err at all. They err on the side of caution. And what I find in my role at my particular school, I hold the position of ABS, which stands for Anti-Bullying Specialist. And in this role, my job is to investigate claims of harassment, intimidation, or bullying from students to other students, students to staff, staff to students, and staff to staff. And in this role, what I find oftentimes is that the parents, the first go-to statement whenever their child feels any lack of discomfort is, "My child's been bullied." And I've had to say on numerous occasions, multiple workshops, multiple presentations to not only students, but to parents and to staff, that bullying is not conflict. Conflict is not bullying. Sometimes they just conflate the two. According to PackerKidsAgainstBullying.org, bullying is different from conflict. Conflict is a disagreement or argument in which both sides respectfully express their views. Bullying is negative behavior directed by someone exerting power and control over another person. Okay, let's put a little pause on that. In the black community, we have a thing called capping, joning, hiking, the dozens. So it is actually a part of our culture to just crack jokes on one another. But what I've seen over the years is that a lot of our children have become hypersensitive to any ridicule, any criticisms, any jokes about anything that they hold sacred and dear. So oftentimes, if another child cracks a joke, they'll go home, they'll tell their parent the joke. The parent becomes enraged. "Oh my God, they're bullying my child," not even taking into consideration that it may be just jokes, even though that doesn't excuse it. Also, they don't even consider that their child may have been in on it, but the student that they're complaining about just got the best of them. So when we talk about bullying versus conflict, we need to understand that bullying, the primary difference between it and conflict is that there is a power imbalance. I need to say that again. It is a power imbalance, and it's not a new phenomenon. According to FriscoISD.org, it's been around since the beginning of time, and most adults can usually recall instances of bullying from their own school days. We need to start recognizing that we have a totally different understanding of what bullying is. From our perspective, you're talking about somebody who was born in the 70s, grew up primarily in the 80s. Bullying was for the most part physical. That's what we perceived it to be. A person was a bully if he put his hands on you, put his feet on you, caused you physical discomfort. But just talking about you, the dozens, we didn't consider that bullying. But one of the primary reasons why bullying became such a major deal, specifically on the Eastern Seaboard, was because of the suicide of a young man from Rutgers University who was outed by his roommate. And because of that, legislation was changed. A lot of people aren't aware of that. And that is why the bullying laws changed. I think that is important that before a parent or guardian decides to make a call or go to the school to have a discussion with the students or the parents or the staff or administration, they need to get all of the details surrounding whatever incident has occurred. Oftentimes in my role, I have to do an entire report. Now, this report is extensive. It requires that I notify the parents of both parties. I have to do full documentation. I have to do interviews of not only the two students, I have to do interviews of people who may or may not have witnessed it. I have to get statements from teachers. And this thing is not a lightweight thing. What ends up happening is that I have to submit this report. And if it is a founded case of bullying, it is thereby sent to the capital of the state and you're put in a registry. And no matter where you go in that state, they can pull your name and find out that you have a founded harassment, intimidation, or bullying claim against you and you were founded. Now, what that is, it casts a poor light upon the student who may have just been joking, may have been playing around. And sometimes, and to be fair, they are founded cases where there was legitimate physical and mental torment from one student to another. So I do understand that some of those children do require that type of report. But for the most part, what I find, and I would say probably at least 8 out of 10 times, it's a conflict. And a conflict can be resolved. And a lot of times what I find is that the conflicts that are seen as bullying are between people who are friends. So I just wanted to put this out there that when your child comes home, or if a child that you are in charge, or someone that you love, a loved one, is in school and they say that someone was bullying them, please do a thorough questioning. The relationship, what was said, what was the response? Did you say anything? Has that been ongoing? And if you find that it does meet the criteria for bullying, that there was a power imbalance, report it immediately, because nowadays children are committing suicide, and that is not something that we want, nor do we care to even hear about, but we need to be aware that it does happen. This is Mr. Abdullah. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Put us in the algorithm. Help people to understand that we are here and we're trying to give people education from a black male educator's perspective. Once again, comment, subscribe, like, and share. You don't like what we're saying? That's okay. Leave a comment. You love what we're saying? That's okay. Leave a comment, but definitely hit that like button. And you are dismissed.
Yeah! You are all expurgated. You are dismissed.